Hey everybody. Alright, so now comes a part of the build where I've got to attach these little tiny boosters to the backpack. But of course, I'm going to want to paint them first. But I don't think it would be necessary for me to use the spray paint in there. Yet at the same time, I want to use this color in the boosters. And additionally, I need to lay down a coat of primer first. So I don't want to use the spray cans, but I want to use the spray paint. So how do we solve this problem? First of all, you need to get yourself a little spare bottle of some kind. Probably no bigger than this. In fact, the smaller the better, probably. Because you're going to actually spray paint into the bottle so that you can have a small amount of it outside of the spray can for you to use with a brush. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. But I'm not going to show this on camera, of course, because I don't want to get the camera all full of paint. But basically, you shake up the can, unscrew the top of your bottle or whatever, and outside, just wear some gloves, do this in a ventilated area, but you just spray the paint in as you'd be spraying paint on anything else. I mean, it's not complicated, but make sure that you get the nozzle as well inside the jar as possible so that you're not wasting paint on the outside or whatever. And then you'll have a small bit of paint to use on whatever parts you want that you don't want to have to go spraying. And this is great for details like the inside of these boosters here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but first I'll add primer in here, and I'm gonna go at all of the little boosters with the primer first on the brush and see if that works. I've never tried it before. I don't know how well primer works on a brush, but we'll see, and hopefully it'll work out good. Alright, so off camera I've went ahead and I've sprayed some primer into this jar. And as you can see, there's a good amount of it in there, probably more than I need. But I want a fair amount in there so that it doesn't dry out in the jar. Anyway, I went ahead and applied a little inside the thruster bell here. And apart from a couple little inconsistencies, I'd say it applied rather well. And I cleaned up the edge, just like I did with the other thruster I did in my last tutorial. And so I'm going to go ahead and use a bunch more of the primer here on some other thrusters that I think it will be useful for, or other parts that I think it will be useful for. And then once this is all used up, I'll clean it out and do the same with the yellow paint here. Now, I tried using this alcohol to clean off the brush, but it didn't work. But luckily, I had on hand some Tester's enamel thinner, and this stuff worked fine. All I needed to do was give my brush a quick, very quick dip, let the thinner sit on the brush for a little bit, and then just sort of wipe it off on a paper towel here. And that worked just fine. And so when you're going to use Krylon paints and or primers, know that enamel thinner will work to clean off your brush and thin the paint if you need to. but I don't think it would be necessary because from the spray can it's already going to be a bit thinned down. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use up a little more of this stuff to prime some other details. Well, since I had a few minutes left with this video, I figured I'd go ahead and show you some of the things I've gotten done on the model so far. I've gotten done the feet, and I think they both turned out pretty well, pretty much the same. I also built all of the hands, two of which are not used right now. This is just a closed fist that can hold a weapon and just a dramatic open palm. I got done some of the backpack, and as you can see I put in the yellow booster that I painted from before, and I did also these propellant tanks, but it's not completed because there's a cover that needs to go on this, and I need to put that back, and then there's two boosters that I was just priming here, one of them here, that need to go in these slots, and then I can put the cover on and finish it up. But the most work I did was on the arms and torso so far, and the head. As you can see, I got the arms both finished except for the shoulders, because they have boosters in them and I haven't gotten a chance to paint those yet. But also, I did this beam rifle. Painted it with details for black here, where it's like a deep recess or some kind of area where there's shading. And then here I did some gray to add like depth and inner frame detail kind of a thing. And then up here, there's no real tutorial for me to show just how I did this. Suffice it to say, it was just very, very tricky. All I did was I painted across these pipes, leaving gaps in between. And the gaps are provided, they're part of the detail. But the trick is not getting any paint down in there, or cleaning it up right away if you do. And so that took me a while. But when I finished, I put on a clear gloss top coat to help protect the paint and help it blend in better with the rifle. And I have to say, it's probably the best work I've done on the model so far. Anyway, of course, I got the head done too, and it's a very nice looking head, especially from the side, that long fin there, and the helmet, how it curves back like that, and the eye is in there, but it's a bit hard to see, unless, as long as it's willing to cooperate. No, I don't think so. Wait, there we go. Wrong part. Yeah, anyway, there's the eye, and it has the ability to move side to side if you position it in some other direction. Then you put the helmet back on, and there you go. Sazabi is looking suspicious of something, but I like to keep it forward for now. And you saw the axe before, but I added the long sword beam on there. And then of course I also cut out the smaller axe blade. And I really like them. Even the small one has a lot of detail and just looks good. And then most recently I was getting started on the upper part of the legs. Again, because it was something I could easily complete without needing to paint more boosters or anything. But yeah, anyway. Oh, I guess there's one more thing. It's not completed, but I've gotten some work done on the shield. Mostly on the back here. and most of the lining and detailing done on the back here was done with my black paint wash. So you all know how I did that, and I think it turned out pretty well. Anyway, I still have the front to do, but I'll get to that later. And I guess that's it then, so catch you guys at the next tutorial.